Baby. Hello, and welcome to Amethyst Racing. Today, we are in the hills of Austria for the Tier 2 race at the Rolex Grossenpiers von Ostrich GP, more commonly known as the Red Bull Ring. Three sectors, 3 DRS straights on this track. Expect plenty of overtaking into turn 3 and turn 4. Only 10 corners for this track, and the tyre choices for today are the softest compounds of C5, C4 and C3. Of course, if it does rain, the inters and the wets will be available for the drivers too. And today, I'm joined by
Mr. Fox Johnson.
And some of the cars already out on the track. Furthest ahead, I believe that might be Swan.
be able to check for you.
It is Swan. Is the furthest around the track currently. There is no lobby restart today. And Swan will be the first car to be coming around to set a lap. There's a lot of cars coming out of the pits right in front of him though. Let's see what Swan can set as a benchmark here today. Takes the first corner nicely, and it's going to be up the hill towards turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, a bit of sausage curb on the inside there at turn 1. I would not recommend doing that. Obviously, it sets you out a bit wider, which can compromise your exit, but turn 3 seems to be quite tidy as well.
And now we'll be into that second DRS straight, expecting heavy rain in the main race, just like in the Tier 1 race. Swan has a gaggle of cars ahead of him.
He does indeed. Hopefully none of them will impede him, because obviously they will receive quite a harsh penalty for that.
Oh, yes.
So let's...
He's a purple six.
Well.
And Marco's retired from the race. Can you tell what's happened further back for the Ferrari? We're going to carry on with Swan's lap.
Yeah, he looks like he's just had a little bit of a spin. He's in the wall. I've just looked on board with his teammate Hooveners.
And Swan goes, oof, a 105.1 for Swan. But there's someone out there going faster than him. Is it Rasmussen? Matthias Rasmussen, your Season 4 Tier 2 champion. And it's Hooveners actually. Justin Hooveners goes P1. Rasmussen, only P4 for Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Both. So Nick Mangano, Marco's brother. And Van... Oh.
What?
Harrington. The new AlphaTauri driver doesn't have the correct number on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Monk is off.
Monk is off.
He's in the gravel. He just had a bit of a snap there, and he's spun round. He's managed to get out of the way of. I think that's Hooveners just behind.
As Hugendorn sets the new fastest lap of the qualifying session so far. So, Hugendorn was a winner in, I think he won Monza last season. He has run a race here in Amethyst before. I can't remember the exact track though.
I wouldn't be able to tell you personally.
So who is on a lap? My guess would be and Soybean's out now. Oh, he's left.
Oh. He's
disconnected from the session. Monk setting on 123. A very competitive time from Monk.
That must be a track record, that.
And Van Loon, the AlphaTauri is actually Van Loon. The AlphaTauri is
Oh, and that is Ule. He's off the track. I don't know if he's had a bit of a spin. Well, he's spun now. I don't know if he had a bit of a spin there. I didn't quite catch that.
Was on an in lap, but yeah, he's on the grass still. As the I believe that was it's not Vlad. That would be Vlad's teammate. As who is on a lap? I believe
Harris is not on a lap.
Harris is not on one. Harris currently P7.
Monk is on a lap, I believe. Yep.
Driving towards the line now. Monk does improve.
It's only P12.
Currently, 1st to 13th is separated by less than a second.
Very competitive.
I can smell my dinner. As
I believe Kiziel is on an out lap.
He is indeed. Kiziel, one of the only cars currently to not set a lap, was your winner here in Bahrain. So we'll be looking to possibly get back to winning ways. The first race of the season, Kiziel won.
He did indeed, and that was a tight race for him as well. That was again a competitive field, so maybe we'll see another similar performance from him. Depends on how his lap goes.
Possibly, as Kizel now slowing down to maybe get a tow from his teammate. I don't know. His teammate is well ahead.
I would imagine it's to keep his tyres cool, because tyres on a hot lap here do tend to overheat quite easily due to the fast left and right handers.
Takes a little bit of sausage curb there into turn 1. We're going to ride on board with Kizel here for this lap. And we're going to come up now towards turn 3. We're going to greed for as much of a wider line as possible. Last time we was here, Kizel was bumped onto the sausage curb by Chappers in a desperate race for first place here. Really affected his race. Let's hope that fortunes do not repeat themselves for Patrick Kizel. He has a purple sector 1.
He does indeed, but turn 3 was not the tidiest. He bounced over that yellow sausage curve, which I believe offsets him, but it's a purple sector.
No, it's not. He's a tenth and a half down now.
Oh, the game's bugging out.
The game has never been accurate, but thankfully there are tools that do make it better. But now Kizel coming around the final corner, don't want to touch that yellow sausage curve, does well to avoid it, will drive towards the line. Patrick Kizel will go P4 for Kizel. It's a solid time.
I believe Rasmussen has spun round.
Rasmussen did spin round as he started his lap. I believe, is that Swan finishing another lap?
No, he's starting a lap.
So Swan starting his lap. And he invalidates.
I'm just looking at Rosu now. I believe he's gone faster in Sector 2.
Rosu...
No,
it was a yellow Sector 2 for him. But Rosu
P1
does go P1. It was only green and yellow sectors, but he's hooked it up together. McWilliams as well puts it up into P5. Next,
we're expecting a performance like that from McWilliams there.
McWilliams really shining here today. And outperforming his teammate as things stand. But I believe Nick Mangano is on a lap as well. And he has a purple sector 1. And is further ahead. But he has a yellow sector 2. We caught a Mercedes, I don't know who it was, spinning for between turns 6 and 7. Will Nick be able to find that time he lost, running it right on the limit now, and he invalidates. So Nick, with a fast sector 1, not able to do anything though, as it is Ule? No, it's not Ule, it's Skowski, who is yet to set a time actually.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Van Loon here. He seems to be going around the track quite nicely. Keeping it nice and tidy, not taking too many risks. And just cutting through the traffic with, I believe that was Hooveners getting out of the way for him.
We're following on with the AlphaTauri driver of... I've got to find his name now, because he hasn't got it on.
Henningsen.
Henningsen not running the right number, will be appearing as Van Loon, but Henningsen making his debut here in Amethyst. With the loss of both AlphaTauri drivers, Henningsen has stepped up to the plate to be their main driver, and Henningsen puts it P3.
The top 7,
very close. As I believe Hugendorn is on a lap.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Hugendorn, who was P1. Scousey goes P3, setting his first lap of this. And Alex Harris sets the fastest lap, meanwhile.
That's a scorching time from him.
Almost a tenth faster than Rosu. Again, we know Harris definitely has the one lap pace in him. He just needs to keep it tidy throughout the whole of it. But we're going to go back to Hugendorn, because Hugendorn has improved in his Sector 1. But he's got to find time in that Sector 2. Otherwise, Harris will be really ruling the roost as things stand. Williams having a disaster class. As Van Loon goes... Ule goes P11, improves to P11. Hugendorn not finding time in Sector 2. Making sure not to wash wide though as he comes around the final corner now. Melvin Hugendorn puts it still remains the same. Doesn't improve. And in fact, it's going to be Matthews who's going slow. So Matthews currently in P14. I believe it might be Swan. No, it's going to be his teammate in Fattenberg. Now, with 2 corners to go, Mans Fattenberg is coming into the pits.
I believe the next one across the line will be Monk.
It'll be Monk and Soybean just behind him. We're going to follow Soybean here. Actually, we're going to switch to Monk.
Got out of the way. Soybean actually gave Monk a toe out of turn 3, so maybe that will have improved Monk's time a little bit.
Maybe.
Improved.
Monk P8 for Monk. Will he slow down now and give Soybean a toe in return? Soybean, who transferred from AlphaTauri to Williams with the departure of Evan Potts. Soybean now on a lap. Fattenberg, okay, duly noted. Monk not giving him a toe though.
No, it's not. That's a bit strange. Usually when your teammate gives you a toe, you give them a toe in
Unless
return,
he's going to give it here. He might be giving it here.
But not the best of toes. He's just really going slowly and poking a slight hole in the air instead of a big one all the way down the straight, which is ideally what you want.
It is a green sector 1 though for Bean, so he's looking to improve on his time. He's 4 seconds off the pace currently, so we'll be looking to find some time. He's currently 4 tenths down on Alex Harris now. So what can Soybean do? As we got yellow flags in sector 3 as well. It's for a slow Monk. Bean not improving through sector 2 actually. It was yellow sector 2 for Soybean. Soybean now will round the final few corners. And where will he put it? P2 for Bean though.
What a lap.
28 thousandths off of Alex Harris. Harris is still your current pole driver though. And I can see that... who is it? It's one of the... Aston Martins, is it?
That's Nick Mangano, I believe.
It is Nick Mangano.
Oh, just going a bit wide.
On the limit. Doesn't invalidate, though. And improves to beat Matthews, but he's got not a lot of time left to get around that track.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get another
Oh,
lap
Matthews has had a spin. Luke Matthews has been not enjoying turn 6 and 7.
He really has not.
With that fish helmet, you can really tell he's out at sea today. So it will be an... it is... Is it?
No one else is on a lap.
Yeah, but there's people on outlaps. I'm just trying to work out who.
There isn't.
It's Kizyul, no?
Nope. Kizyul is into the pits.
Oh, okay then. So, we're going to get a lull before the storm. Welcome, Rory.
Yeah, there's no one else coming out the pits either.
So, with 3 minutes left in this session, I reckon everyone's going to be coming out at exactly the same time, and we're going to be witnessing trains of cars.
We have our first one out of the pits. I believe that is an Alpine.
It is an Alpine.
Maybe.
Van Loon would be my shout. It is.
No, it's Hugendorn. It's
Hugendorn out first. Once in that clear track, Swan has left the session.
Nick Mangano, I believe that is also on a lap.
P16 currently for Nick Mangano. He's not going to have enough time for another lap.
He is not. I don't know what his strategy is.
Swan's game has crashed. Swan's game has crashed.
He's not. Oh dear. He's not going to get another chance for a lap, I don't believe.
It's going to be very tight.
It is Hugendorn leading the pack, followed by Rosu.
Hugendorn currently in P4.
He is indeed.
Swan has rejoined. He might have enough time just to be able to get out in time. It's going to be very tight.
He may be able to.
He'll be one of the last cars around the track, so Track Evolution will be at its peak performance for him.
If he gets out, that is.
That is true. As Hugendorn now going to be starting his lap, though, as he starts his lap, crossing the start-finish line. Can Hugendorn improve? Currently in P4, 1.5 tenths off the back of. Doesn't touch that curb on the inside there. Nice exit. Swings it around nicely. Currently, it's one of the Van Loons who has the he's 13 thousandths off of one of the Van Loons, as one of the drivers has the incorrect number on. I'm gonna guess. I don't know which one would have the faster sector one actually, but it was an improvement, and there was yellow flags in sector 2 for a slow car.
That will just be a car getting out of the way. I believe it was one of the Williams. But Huygendorn is improving.
Oh, but he invalidates. He takes too much curb. He may
be able to get another lap in.
He may be able to, but it's now going to be Vlad who is the next car on lap. And he looks like he's improving as well. Didn't improve in Sector 1, but got improvements in Sector 2. Vlad Rosu coming towards the line now will set his time. And he does improve, besting Harris. And Harris didn't come out of the pits. So Harris is not setting another lap. Next up is going to be Van Loon, currently P9, who invalidated. He has 20 seconds to start one more lap. And now it will be much improves to P4. Ryan Much up into P4.
Red Bulls. There's Henningsen next. Cranny invalidates in the final corner.
And there's a spun.
And Skalski in the wall.
And Fattenberg goes up to P9. So Fattenberg does improve. Ule next. Currently running in P15. Ule goes up to P5. Next up is going to be one of the Williams. And it's Soybean goes the fastest. But now it's Justin Huveniers, who's currently P9. Huveniers stays P9.
Underwhelming performance.
And Kizzle's retired. Kizzle's had a moment.
He's had a bit of a moment.
He's ripped his wheel off. He's ripped his wheel off.
Looks like Swan did get out in time. He is on a lap, but I don't know how fast it is.
He's going to be pushing it very much on the limit here.
He's eating that sausage curve, which you don't tend to want to do. He's crossing the line, and it's P8.
P8 for Swan. There was a dead Williams there as well. Matthews. Is that everyone?
That is everyone, yeah.
So Soybean is your pole taker. The front three all within a tenth of each other. Red Bull with a 2-4. Big notable shout out for them. The sprint race though all to play with. Ule coming back into the picture now. He hadn't had a good start to the season, but really shining here today.
Just on Soybean's teammate Alfred Monk, he's not had too much of a good performance. He managed to invalidate in Sector 3, just coming out of Sector 2. I mean, he wasn't able to finish his lap. And,
he needs to put down the bottle.
Drunky monkey.
Indeed, drunky monkey. A big surprise though is Marco Mangano crashing without setting a lap. We don't quite know where his pace will actually be.
No, we don't. Hopefully he is able to improve on that pace that he currently has, which...
all 18 drivers within a second. The top... All but the last 3 were within half a second.
That is staggering, honestly.
Fine margins today.
It is indeed, and I think Soybean being on top of that is really showing his skill, because we saw it in Imola, we saw it in a few other races, and I think he's done very, very well to keep that pace up.
So now the sprint race, 12 laps here for the boys to do. Who do you reckon will bring home this sprint race? Soybean, who only set one good lap. The rest of his laps in qualifying weren't around that sort of pace. So could very well see that he's prone to errors around this short track.
You are right, yeah. This is a tricky track, especially with track limits as well. It's very difficult to keep it on the grey tarmac, so hopefully we won't see any incidents. Well, it'll be entertaining for us, but not for the drivers.
So here we go. They're about to get ready. The 5 lights are on. And away we go. Soybean gets a clean getaway, but Harris gets a monster start. Vlad, and there's a little bit of bumping, and there's contact, and it's an Alfa Romeo and a Red Bull making contact, I believe. Oh my God, there's such a pile up further back.
Hugendorn, Nick Mangano, Ule, and Skalski have all been involved in that.
And it looked like a lot of bumper cars between Much and Ule there, as Soybean gets a bad exit, and Harris looking to make a move for the race lead on lap 1. Soybean getting a disastrous exit out of turn 3, but has the inside for turn 4 and goes back on the inside of Harris. And Rosu is right behind them, chomping at the bit, and Swan's up into P4. Further back, it's going to be Hooven right behind Fattenberg, and Rasmussen and Kiziel trading places as well.
I believe Kiziel may have damage because he's going very, very slowly. I may be incorrect because I can't see any damage on his car, but he does seem to be.
It could be side pod. It could be side pod.
It may be side pod.
And there is an Alfa Romeo coming into the pits though, and I believe that is Ule. Ule with damage from that. Alex, you're very quiet.
Am I?
Yes.
Is that better? Or
I think so, yeah. Is that better? As Nick Mangano's retired in the pits, and oh, Harris has had a moment in the into turn 3 and has dropped all the way down the order. So Harris now in P10 will have to battle his way back up. Up the inside though of that. There's Matthews on the inside of Van Loon. Harris is down in 15th. Matthews is charging up the field. Further forward.
Hamilton round the outside of Van Loon, just can't make it stick.
Oh, but he's now.
Mangano on the inside of Van Loon into this tricky left-hander. They're still side by side, but they're keeping it nice and tidy. And Van Loon on the inside of Matthews into the penultimate corner. That's not a place you make a send. There's a little bit of contact, but they've managed to keep it facing forward.
Kiziel has quite a train.
He does indeed, but Marco Mangano all over the back of Van Loon, with Van Loon gaining and gaining on Luke Matthews.
Oh, someone went straight there, and Rasmussen's crashed.
That's a safety car, I believe.
No, it's a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car currently is out. We watched a Williams of Monk just went straight on. We didn't see what happened to Rasmussen. Rasmussen, who was running in P8. And the virtual safety car, Ule would have been wanting a full one, that's for sure. Let me just see if I need to turn you up though, lad.
I
On
think
my
you
end.
do.
Because you're now popping a bit too much. Right, there we
I'm
go.
on 100%.
I fixed you,
Alright, good.
So currently the big story here is Bean holding on to P1. Ryan Much with a lot of bumping with the Alfa Romeo of Ule, causing Ule to get very loose into turn 1 and a big incident into turn 1. And further back.
On top of that. Sorry, carry on.
You first. You go.
I was just going to say Soybean has a massive lead over the 2 Red Bulls, which we have not seen so far this season. The Red Bulls 2 and 3 with Vlad leading his teammate. An unexpected performance from them, I believe.
And Swan's dropped down to 6th, actually. Fattenberg and Hooveneers have got past him in the commotion that was happening further back. Currently, the Red Bulls having their best performance yet, and this virtual safety car is going to help them look after their tyres.
Does Fattenberg offend you or something?
Why?
You say Fattenberg, but the VSC has ended.
And Swan gets a big jump. Swan gets a big jump on Hooveneers, and he'll be up the inside of turn 4. Swan for P5 in this sprint race. So the front 5 have a big lead over the rest of the field, but Hooveneers looking to fight back.
I think Hooveneers just tried the switchback, but he didn't have enough speed out of the corner, with Swan just slipping ahead of him. And
Kizil must have damage. Kizil must have damage. He's got such he's so off pace compared to the cars in front. Swan has wing damage.
Qualifying performance. Swan has wing damage. How do you figure that?
It's been said in chat.
Oh right, I can't see any visual damage, but
I can't
obviously
either.
the game does. The game obviously doesn't always show that.
And
but it looks
DRS,
like Matthews is going to have the DRS on Kizil.
Hooveneers on a move through turn 3, back for Swan. Swan holding the inside, Hooveneers around the outside. Hooveneers gets the position, but who will get the DRS now? And it will be Swan. These two battling it out for P5 and P6. Meanwhile, the battle for P7 is going to be Kizil, Matthews, and Marco Mangano. Marco up the inside there of Matthews, and Matthews loses the position but holds on. Side
into
by
the tricky
side.
left-hander.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Now for
They're
the
still side by side, and Matthews just sends it and manages to barge his way past.
And Van Loon
at the inside. We saw him make this move earlier. He's still done it, and he's got past.
He loves that penultimate corner. He absolutely adores it.
He does indeed, and Hugendorn now on the inside of McWilliams into turn 1. He's sending it on the inside of Hensington. A massive crash between Mark and Mangano. Matthews, there's a huge pile-up.
We caught the back end of that, and it was a big one for sure. Hugendorn goes up to P10, but who was at fault for that one?
I can't tell. I was looking at Hensington there, or Hensington, sorry, and it just looked like I just saw Marco being spun around. It looked like Matthews maybe spun him round there.
Monk looking for a move. Meanwhile, on Hensington, you might need to move your mouth a little bit further away from the mic now.
Oh my god!
Because I made you louder. But currently,
right, is that any better?
That's better. So Soybean lead with Rosu in P2, Much in P3, and Fantenberg in P4, with Hooveneers now hunting him down. The front two,
pronounced it right.
The front two pulling away, and Kizil in P7 has quite the train still forming behind him of Van Loon and Alex Harris. This is for the final point here in the sprint race.
Van Loon all over the back of Kizil. He's going to be wanting to get the DRS here. No ERS deployment. He doesn't see any point in doing that, and I wouldn't either, because he wants to save that until the end of the race.
Oh!
Fantenberg!
And
side by side with Much!
Oh, game, please give us a better camera angle. Fantenberg with the inside for turn 4, and Hooveneers is eyeing this up as well. Oh, it's very close, but I think Much might hold on to this.
Drunky Monkey has returned!
The drunk one! And he's got wing damage!
He spun at turn 3!
But we're going to go back to the battle for P3, because now Fantenberg is under pressure for Hooveneers. And then it's a lot of pressure as well. Fantenberg has Hooveneers all over his rear mirror. And Kizil
Van Loon trying to make a move into the penultimate corner again, but not quite being close enough to Kizil. Kizil is using that ERS very strategically in all the right places.
Fantenberg's light was flashing for a second. Fantenberg running quite low on ERS here. We're going to ride on board though with Fantenberg, and let's see how he's doing. 6%. He really wants to get past Ryan Much.
He really does, but Hooveneers trying to get past also. And Harris on the inside of Van Loon just not being able to make that stick. And Skalski and Hugendorn getting a bit close for comfort there.
Oh.
With Hugendorn just forcing him off the track.
Fantenberg has got a much better drive out of turn 4 though. On Much. It's side by side stuff. But Much holds off once again. 4 laps to go. And it's anyone's game for this 3rd place position. There's 4 drivers all within touching distance.
You are right. Much is defending brilliantly against Fantenberg, Hooveneers and Skalski.
Soybean has just put a massive lap in. But Mans Fantenberg will really want to get past Much here.
Looks like Hugendorn on the inside at turn 1 on Kiziel. There's contact and Kiziel's forced off the track.
Oh, and Harris goes through them both. Through goes Harris. Harris up into P7. Van Loon.
It's 3 wide at turn 3 for Hoovenis, Munch and Vandenberg. Hoovenis with a double overtake at turn 3.
And Swan's through too. Swan gets through too.
Who started pole?
It's 3 wide into turn 4.
Much around the outside, Swan in the middle. Hoovenis on the inside. Much looking to hold more speed. Who started pole? Soybean did. But meanwhile, it's now Swan and Ryan Much side by side.
Much is still hanging in there. How is he doing this? And he's just have to concede.
And now he's gone under pressure. And Swan up into P3 with that move. These four battling it out.
Harris has gotten a penalty.
A 5 second as well, supposedly.
Oh, great.
Swan has damage and he's doing this, supposedly. I can't see any damage.
I can't either. It may be side pod or something like that. But Much, again, looking to get past Swan. Swan's rear light flashing.
So's Much's though. Swan looking to go for the outside. Much, the inside line here into turn 3. Oh, they're side by side still. And Vandenberg will be eyeing up Hoovenis here still. It's 20%. And now Much for the outside around turn 4. He's loved going around the outside here repetitively. Side by side stuff. Much with the overspeed will have the faster car, but with the shorter journey. But Much up the inside of turn 6. Side by side with Swan still. And Much and Hoovenis up the inside.
Hoovenis didn't quite manage to make a stick. If he had done that, that would have been an overtake of the season, in my opinion. But a bit further back, Van Loon had an instant. He's dropped down right out of the points.
Oh, he has. He's all the way down into P12 now with his alter ego in P13. But Swan looking for a move up the inside, not able to do it. And Hoovenis maybe pressuring Swan now. Swan in a bit of a sandwich because Hoovenis has definitely got the pace. Meanwhile, the front two are pulling away from this battling quadruplet.
Into turn 3. Much just braking a bit later. Swan has to back out. He's trying going for the switchback. But he's not quite making it happen.
Hoovenis got an appalling exit though, so Swan is on all set, is on just full attack mode now, not having to worry about Ferrari in his rear. But Much with that outside line, really showing how much he likes that, holds the position. And there's only one more lap of this in this sprint race. Kiziel currently P9, has Hugendorn all over him. Hugendorn also looking to make a move on Patrick Kiziel. And then it's going to be Van Loon with Henningsen.
Ooh. They both nearly just spun round. There was a bit of contact there. And Ule and Monk also going side by side. And Ule just going a bit wide and conceding to Monk.
Swan
and Williams on the inside of the final corner on Van Loon's alter ego.
Henningsen. They both get the DRS. Who will Van Loon give the toe to though? Neither of them. And meanwhile, Hoovenis is eyeing up Swan here. Swan covers the inside. Hoovenis maybe with a switchback. Swan parks it smartly, holds him off. And now they're going to be both looking to make an attack on Much. Right again. Swan up the inside of Much into turn 4. Side by side.
Sticking it on the outside. But Swan around the outside into this left-hander. He can carry a bit more speed, but Much on the inside defending excellently.
And Hoovenis again!
On the inside of Swan now.
Side by side still. Hoovenis might have the move. Swan rides that curb nicely. They're still side by side. And Fattenberg will be right there too. Swan with the inside now.
Hoovenis around the outside.
Has been is your race winner. Rosu second, but it's a drag race. And I believe Swan holds the position from Hoovenis. Fattenberg not able to make the move. Harris with that 5-second penalty will be in P8. Skowski in P7. And then Kiziel P9. P10 for Hugendorn. Rolf Van Loon P11. McWilliams gets it
on the inside of Monk. There's contact.
Oh! Ole loses it almost.
Ule loses out to Monk. That is the second drag race in 2 days here at Austria.
Everyone loves a good drag race in Austria, it appears. Skowski gets driver of the day for that sprint race. Oh, I'm out of breath.
Your lung capacity's not that good then.
What do you mean?
How are you out of breath from that? Just talking.
You're the one with chocolate ribs.
What a race.
That was only the sprint. So this is Marco Mangano, who started 19th, managed to get up to P14. We didn't quite see what happened to Nick or to Rasmussen, but Rasmussen bringing out the virtual safety car, and supposedly Harris's pen is rubbish. So we'll see when it gets put in.
We will indeed see.
And it's raining! And now the rain has came once again, just like in Tier 1. Tier 2 is greeted with a wet full race. I sound like Scooby-Doo for a second.
You always sound like Scooby-Doo.
What? I wonder if anyone there has a wet or a higher downforce setup because of the rain in this main race.
Quite possibly. Swan looked to be quite quick down the straights compared to everyone else, so I mean, he may struggle in these conditions. But...
Monk is running a higher downforce setup is what I'm being told.
Right. We'll have to see.
Oh. 36 laps now in the rain. We could about to get some absolute chaos. As here we go. Who will get the start in the wet? And they're away. Will Soybean be able to once again outstart Vlad? By the looks of it, Vlad getting a much better start than Soybean this time. Vlad with the inside, choosing not to make a move much, covering it. And there was a Mercedes with a monster start up into P5. Who is that?
That was Harris. He managed to go around the outside of everyone at turn 1.
And Swan, meanwhile, eyeing up a move on much. These two battling for the whole sprint. Fattenberg really struggling. Gets a big snap. Is going to come under pressure further back there. But everyone gets through cleanly around that first. The second Van Loon is Harrington. Oh! The Haas is on full wets.
Oh.
The Haas is going for a different strategy here. Very interesting.
Maybe it's going to rain. Maybe it's going to rain a bit heavier later on in the race.
As Harrington makes the move around Phantom.
Oh!
And what was that yellow flag?
I think Hugendorn had a bit of an incident there.
Harris,
both the Alpines dropping down the order.
Harris is side by side with Huveniers. Harris getting a bit of a snap. Will now be under pressure also from Skowski. Where's Skowski gone?
He's P9.
Oh, he's
Swan on the inside of Munch. He couldn't do it in the sprint, but he's doing it. He's sort of doing it.
Who's that run very wide there? Huveniers runs extremely wide. Will be now under pressure from the guys behind him. And Swan up the inside of Much gets the move and will be looking to catch up to Rosu and Bean now.
Inside of Huveniers. And Fantenberg around the outside of Skowski.
Oh, and he's going to look to make it stick. Marco up into P9, P10 now. Marco got a monster start as well. The weather is saying that it could thunderstorm in the next 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Ule is all the way... What happened to Ule?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
He pitted, I think.
He's on intermediate still.
Oh, Much having a bit of a snap there, and Harris just slipping through at the inside.
And the fake
and it looks
Van
like
Loon.
Matthews.
Oh,
Matthews dropping down the order.
the fake Van Loon hasn't got his telemetry on either. He has the wrong number. No
Scott's got
telemetry.
this side of the inside of Van Loon's alter ego.
Haas maybe have been smart here. Very true, chat. Because are the leaders going to pull enough away? But also they're going to wear them full wets a lot in this intermediate condition. They're going to be running very hot. As Skowski looking for a move up the inside of Harrison. Looked like a little bit of a bump because Fattenberg also gets through. And now Marco might be eyeing him up as well.
Van Loon had a bit of an incident, I think, again. Just dropping down.
And Marco all over the back of Harrison. Making his debut here today in Amethyst. With Fantenberg in front of him and Skowski in front of that. There's a little bit of a gap between Skowski and the front six though. And Soybean is pulling away with it in his Williams in his new team colours. As at the same time, Rosu is making a gap to Swan. Rosu, your Season 5 champion, definitely has found his feet once again now around Austria. As Harris sets the fastest lap, will be gaining on Will Swan here.
I'd just like to say, Williams also up the inside into turn 1 on Patrick Kiziel. Will he make it stick?
Them
Yes, he
intermediates
will.
are performing a lot nicer here today as the weather is right now. But will it stay that way?
I'd also like to point your attention to Nick Mangano gaining 8
Kiziel.
positions off the start.
Kiziel on the move back up the inside of McWilliams.
It's forced a bit wide.
Did force him a little bit wide.
And Rasmussen slips up the inside.
And Matthews will slip
Williams.
up the inside as well. He loses 2 places as extra as well as the one to Kiziel because of the lack of space being given. It'll be an interesting one. Oh! Harris has got past Swan in the meantime for P3. Swan will not be...
missed that?
We was watching Kiziel and McWilliams battle it out. As Huveniers picks up a 3-second penalty already. Some of the drivers not enjoying this weather. Hugendorn and Huveniers both with 3-second time penalties. And the Haas boys are slipping down the order as Soybean sets the fastest lap of the race.
And Swan is all over the back of Harris. Swan is keeping...
Harris innocent.
He is, yeah.
They both got past much now under pressure from Huveniers and Skowski just behind the pair of them. I'm going to go quickly check my dinner because I can smell it. I'm going to put you on Harris and Swan because...
On Harris and Swan, okay.
Because they're not giving each other an inch, and actually I'm going to put you on Swan because Swan's dropped off the back a little bit.
Greedy bastard. Anyway, yeah, Harris just staying ahead of Swan, and Swan dropping off the back of Harris. Harris actually gaining 5 positions off the start, and he's looking to gain on Vlad Rosu, who I would actually quite like to see him retain that position, because we haven't really seen him stay with that performance.
Oh, and Harris is catching up to the back of Rosu quite rapidly.
I've just said that.
I've just come back. My dinner isn't ready yet.
If you weren't such a greedy bastard, you would have known that.
I need to eat for my tournament tonight, lad, okay? Oh, and Matthews has got past one of the Hasses. Rasmussen dropping back down the order as McWilliams gets back past, and Matthews has got past Kiziel. Them wet tyres are still not performing as they'd like to. Oh, what do I have for dinner? I have a full roast beef with chicken and beef and pigs in blankets. I eat good meat. As Harris...
So you've got a full roast beef with chicken and beef?
No, with pork, beef and chicken. It's a triple meat. It's a triple meat fiesta. Jesus, your mum would know about them.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Harris up the inside of Rosu for P2. Harris makes the move for P2 on Vlad Rosu, but Soybean has been pulling away. Will Harris be able to reel him back in? As the Hasses are not having a good time, as McWilliams going around the outside of turn 4 will have the inside for turn 5. McWilliams makes the move on Patrick Kiziel. And next...
Not a proud move from them. And Monk on the inside, and that is Nick Mangano going very slowly. I think he had a bit of an incident.
A bit of a wobbler. Monk, who's normally the wet weather specialist, is not performing especially too well, and it was Hugendorn who got past Nick Mangano, not Monk. Monk is currently P11. As Swan has been dropped off a little bit by Harris and Rosu. Swan is being kept very innocent by the train behind him. As meanwhile, it looks like Van Loon is looking to make a move on Rasmussen up the inside of turn 3. Later on the brakes, them intermediate tyres definitely have got the grip. Rasmussen for a switchback, not able to do anything. Our weather report, we're checking the weather radar, and the storm is about 5 minutes out now. Are the front runners clear of the Hasses? They will, the Hasses tyre wear though, surely will not be liking this. Currently not in the right tyre for the conditions. And there's a yellow flag, and it was for McWilliams. McWilliams has had a moment, and he's falling back down the order, back into the clutches of the Hasses. Meanwhile, it's Hooven is under a lot of pressure here from Skowski. Also, I'd like to say, Alex, chat enjoyed that mum joke.
Right.
Yeah. And when I say chat, Will enjoyed it.
Right, Matthews into the pits.
Matthews the first to pit.
He's on the wets. He's going on to the wets.
Maybe he's going out there to get a feel for Alex Harris, his teammate, playing a bit further back behind, can play the real team game here.
I beg your pardon.
What?
You've just said get a feel for Harris's teammate playing a bit further back behind.
He can get a feel for his teammate because he's a bit further back behind. Normally you see this in real life where Lando Norris is having a good race and Daniel Ricciardo is having a bad one, and they send Danny Rick onto the different new tyre to see how it's performing. If it performs well, they get the intel. No?
Yeah, it's just...
Swan has fallen further back as a... No, it's Rosu who's falling into the clutches of Swan. Rosu maybe having a bad exit on one corner. And Swan is hunting him down now.
Yeah, it looks like he's maybe going to want to go for a move into turn 3. Just braking a bit later. And he's not using any ERS, so maybe not. But
it's a long race. They're only 9 laps in of the 36 laps that they have to do here. So all to play for still for these guys.
It is indeed, but Swan just sticking on the back of Vlad, even with a tricky exit like that. Just staying with him.
Will Vlad play the ultimate team player? And maybe back Swan up into much?
I mean, if I was Vlad at this point, I wouldn't want to be compromising my own race.
Oh! He's had a moment! Harris is in the lead!
I've been noticed that at the same point.
Soybean.
I just looked at the order.
Soybean must have had a moment because he's into the pits. Bean has come into the pits.
He's going onto the wets, I believe.
He's the first of the front runners to go onto the wets. As McWilliams further back has had another moment into turn 6, and there's someone else coming into the pits. It's Monk, Alfred Monk, also coming into the pits. Nick Mangano into the pits. So a couple of the drivers thinking it's now the time. Has the weather approached? The storm is here. The Austrian storm has arrived. And Soybean, will he come out in front of the Hasses? The track doesn't look wet enough still. But Soybean will be behind the Haas drivers.
Has Kiziel played an absolute masterclass here? Because don't forget, he's not going to have to pit.
Are they going to last? Are they going to last? All 36 laps?
It depends. He can try and make them last, but he's going to have to be off the pace a little bit.
And talking of off the pace, Kiziel already on the threat here. No, Bean went for fresh inters.
Oh!
Soybean's gone for fresh intermediates.
lovely switchback, but he seems to have similar traction. In my opinion, it looks close to full wet tyres. I'm not sure going up to the Inters.
And the first McLaren is now into the pits. That will be Will Swan coming into the pits for, I would assume, is going to be full wets. So Swan,
I think it may have been a mistake from Bean because it doesn't. If I was him, I would not have risked going onto the Inters. Everybody else is going onto the wet.
Classic Williams pit crew.
Maybe Drunky Monkey is having an influence on Bean already.
But Monk is on the full wets. As meanwhile, Hooven is side by side with Much. Wheel to wheel stuff as they come out of turn 3. It's going to be a drag race. Much has loved the outside of this turn 4. And he looks like he's got just a better exit. Hooven is, though, will hold the inside. Much with the outside. Hooven is gets a better drive. Much in the wet, not getting as much joy as he did in the dry, but still will hold the inside for this double left-hander.
Well, there's close to contact, but there isn't quite any. They're still side by side, and Much has spun round.
And Hooven has gone very wide. Was there contact?
There was indeed, and Skowski is slipping round the outside of Hoovenes. Hoovenes just seemed to turn in a bit on Much. I may be wrong. I may be looking at it from a different perspective, but it looked like it was just Much turning in on.
Hooven is turning in a little bit too much on Much. A little bit too much of movement from Hooven collects Much.
That was a tongue twister.
Skowski now up into P3. Hooven remains stationary in P4. And he has that 3-second penalty. And Vandenberg is right behind him now. Rosu kind of gets relieved of the pressure with Swan coming into the pits. The driver's still not knowing when it's the right time to come in. I'd like to point out Matthews and Monk on the wet aren't making inroads on Ule on them intermediates.
They aren't. You are right. But don't forget it is... in the wets, it's very difficult to get past somebody because it is very setup dependent. You have no DRS to aid you in that straight line speed. So when you're struggling to get past down the straights, you may not make inroads on people because they may pull away on the too long straights.
Let's report back to the Hasses. Let's see how they're doing compared to now the Alpine of Van Loon is past them. And Bean's just pulled away. Soybean has pulled away from them. So it's still not wet weather. The storm is meant to be lasting for at least another 5 minutes. And then it dries up in 15 minutes time. I think the Interrunners are trying to just play it out. You know?
I think they are as well.
Some people may be a bit too early. And going on to full wets may cost them a lot more than people think.
Yeah, I'm not sure Soybean's strategy of pitting now is exactly ideal because, I mean, and if everyone else is staying out.
Monk's back into the pits. So Monk, who pitted for the
wet,
he's going back onto intermediates.
Drunky Monkey has returned. Well, he returned in the sprint.
He did. Vandenberg is pressuring Hooven a lot here now. Much, who has fallen down the order into P8 though, is having a much better drive than Silverstone where he was killed.
But it looks like Harris is pulling away from everybody else. He just seems to have more grip around every corner.
Living his best life right now.
That's a yellow flag for, I believe, that's Nick Mangano.
Yes, it is. Nick Mangano will lose a position as well. He's on the full wets and he's lost his front wing. He's had a nose job.
For fuck's sake.
Got him. But the intermediate tyre, so Matthews went out on the full wet, probably getting intel for Harris. And the intel...
Rasmussen's into the pits.
Rasmussen is into the pits. So the Haas's strategy hasn't paid off. And
right.
They took a gamble. And it just hasn't paid off. Harris having a quiet race now. The nearest bottle would probably be Marco Mangano. And Much has been looking very fast here all day. And is really putting the pressure now on Hooven.
You are right, yeah. Hooven is making that mistake with Much. I don't think Much is very happy with him. I wouldn't be, at least, because from what I saw, it looked like Much went for a move up the inside. Hooven is braked that little bit later and seemed to turn in on him.
And it has definitely affected Much's race a lot more than it affected Hooven's. Hooven is losing one place, but Much picked up a 3-second time penalty for running just a little bit wide there around the final corner. So Hooven is a Much.
Rasmussen up the inside of McWilliams on those intermediates.
McWilliams on the wets. It never went fully wet, I believe. There just wasn't enough rain in that short period of time. Anyone who
Much is past Marco.
Oh, that is for P7, but Much still has a 3-second time penalty that he has to navigate around. The biggest loser from this tyre gamble would be Will Swan, who was running P3, P4. And McWilliams and
I would have thought it was Soybean.
Soybean went for another set of intermediates.
Oh yeah, he did. You are right.
He must have had damage, as now Matthews comes into the pits for intermediates. So people who wet started or changed for the wets just didn't pay off.
Everyone's running a bit of a lonely race at the moment. It looks like Kiziel making inroads on Van Loon finally. And that's Nick Mangano! He's in the wall!
Nick Mangano's had a moment on exit. Will it bring out a safety car though?
No, I believe he retired.
Are you sure?
Instead of DNFing.
Ah, his car's pulled over, so maybe he's it's hard to tell if he's actually lost the wheel or not.
I'll have a look for you.
I couldn't tell. We're going to go back to the battle for P3 though, or P2, because Skowski has closed the gap down on Rosu. And Skowski looking good for another podium, keeping his title fight alive, with Soybean having a mishap and Swan making the choice to come in for full wets, and the track just not getting wet enough.
Oh, and Kiziel on the inside at turn 3 on Van Loon. He breaks very late, but he manages to make the move stick. Van Loon just running into the back of him mid-corner.
Still on full wets is Patrick Kiziel. Is not budging off of this setup. It's expected, the rain's expected to die down a little in the next 5 minutes or so. As Rosu's under a lot of pressure here now. Skowski is all over his rear. And we're going to ride on board with Skowski. Skowski with 25% battery left, only a quarter of the tank remaining.
I think he's going to use a bit down towards turn 3. He doesn't want to use... Yeah, he doesn't want to use too much, and Swan is into the pits.
Surely for another fresh set of intermediates, I would assume.
I will have a look for you. Yes, he is onto the intermediates.
The strategy play for the McLaren driver not paying off today, and he's going to fall down to P13, maybe even behind Ule and 14. It's going to be very close as they come out of the pit, but we're going to follow with Skowski, Ule's teammate, who is still having a fantastic drive.
He is indeed, and it must be said, Harris with no spins and no DNFs yet, which is...
Do not jinx it. Do not jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it.
Zip your mouth.
I'm just saying I'm happy that he's had no incidents yet.
Zip it.
That's all I'm saying.
Zip it. Zip it. Meanwhile, Skowski keeps getting amazing drives on Vlad out of that final corner, but Vlad must be deploying battery because Skowski just can't make any inroads.
Yeah, Vlad, he's got pretty low ERS compared to Skowski, who's just saving it that little bit better.
As meanwhile, Harris goes past McWilliams. McWilliams, the first car to go a lap down. Some of the tyre strategy just sadly not paying off some of the drivers. And
but the thing is, with Vlad, he's the car ahead of Skowski, so he can't tell if Skowski is using ERS, whereas Skowski can tell if Vlad is using ERS.
Oh, and Much is coming under pressure here from Marco, but behind them, Hugendorn looking to make a move back on Marco Mangano as they're side by side. Very close stuff, these three. Much runs very wide. Both of them will get a monster drive out on him. But he's going to have his favourite outside line for this.
And he's kept the position.
He has. As there's yellow flags, and it's Swan. Swan's had a moment. Swan.
He has
out
no
of turn
damage.
3. Just maybe putting the beans down a bit too much, too quickly, and losing it out of turn 3 as there's people coming into the pits. Skowski and Vandenberg into the pits.
It looks like the rain has died down a lot.
It is still raining though. Are they? This is a bold move from the pair.
It is. I'm not sure it's exactly the most smart thing to do. But it depends how long the rain is going to continue.
What are
obviously.
they coming out? What tyres are they on?
They are on intermediates.
So they've gone for fresh inters.
They have.
We're halfway through the race now.
Bean looking around the outside of Skowski into turn 3.
Skowski will not have tyres up to temperature just yet. Bean with the switchback! Oh, orgasmic stuff! Skowski, though, giving him a drag race, though. And Skowski gets the drag race on Bean, but Bean not giving up for the inside of turn 4, side by side. Bean makes the send. Skowski now looking for a switchback. But Bean
he's got the drive.
He has the drive, but Bean will have the inside for the next 2 corners.
He will, but Skowski round the outside. Look how close that is.
Oh,
how have they not made contact? But Bean just... a little bit of contact.
And Skowski will get back through.
Wide. But Bean round the outside of the penultimate corner. There is contact. But thankfully, Skowski is not in that wall to the left of him.
Vandenberg getting a little bit of a wobbler on there, and there's a poll that has been made. I'm not going to say what the poll. Will Harris bottle?
I feel like he won't. I don't think he will.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't for once.
I'm proud of him for not spinning yet. I'm proud of him. I'm also proud of him for not DNFing yet. That's even better.
So back to the battle, because it's now the battle for I think it's the battle for P4 currently that's going on, which is Marco Mangano and Hugendorn all running very close. And the weather is expected to still be going on for about 15 minutes, give or take. They could... As Harris sets the new fastest lap on old intermediates. He's found some life in them somewhere. Maybe he...
Bean nearly spun.
And Harris picks up a 3-second time penalty now for multiple warnings, though.
He does indeed, and Vandenberg has slipped up the inside of Soybean.
Will Bean give up on this? Vandenberg and Skowski sets the new fastest lap now. It's very interesting. 2 of the drivers who were in the top 4 pitted earlier than the other 2. And if... Will they... Oh, Rasmussen picked up a 3-second time penalty. No, is it? Yes. As Rasmussen is... It's Kizu into the pits now. Rasmussen is battling Monk as we speak, side by side. Monk round the outside of Rasmussen.
Hugendorn up the inside of Marco Mangano as well. And Marco getting that switch back. He's got the drive. Not quite.
As still, we wait to see, will Harris or Rosu decide that it's time for a fresh set of tyres? Because the weather doesn't look to be letting up.
It doesn't.
Harris with a 3-second time penalty has an 8-second lead over Vlad. Is it 8 seconds? It's about 7-8 seconds. As
8 seconds, yeah.
Harrington now picks up a 3-second time penalty.
And Harris gets purple sector 1, I believe.
We are with 15 laps to go. Vandenberg now setting the new fastest lap. So then fresh intermediates are definitely performing.
Yeah, Harris is doing very well to keep it in a straight line. Reason being, he's on the old intermediates and he's still setting fastest sectors and fastest laps.
It's not. It's Hugendorn with the fastest sector 1, Harrington with the fastest sector 2, and Skowski with the fastest sector 3.
Oh.
But Harris, he started 8th, is now up into P1. Let's have a look quickly at our big gainers and big losers. Our big gainers would be Marco Mangano and Alex Harris up 8 and 7 places respectively. Bean's the biggest loser, down 8. And McWilliams, who started off really well, has now lost a few as Harris sets a new fastest lap.
His pace is very good at the moment.
And he does have the fastest first sector now. So Harris...
I told you.
Yeah, I know you did. As,
you never believed me.
Skowski is on the back now of Marco.
Oh! Hukendorn had a bit of an incident. He's dropped off the back of Much.
Oh, and Swan is battling Ule now for P13. They're side by side. Swan makes the move. Ule's got wing damage. Ule is missing an end plate.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I hope that didn't come from contact between the pair. And Matthews picks up a 3-second time penalty now. And there's a big train from Hoogendoorn down. Hoogendoorn with Marco behind. And then it's Skowski on the fresh intermediates. And Fantenberg right behind. But Marco is having to defend off Skowski. Skowski trying to go around the outside. There's contact! There is contact between the pair. Somehow neither of them got damage. But Fantenberg gets past the both of them.
Double overtake from him.
Well, due to the contact, Skowski does get past Marco Mangano as well.
On top of that, Bean is all over the back of Marco.
Yes.
Looking to make a move on him.
Marco's race was looking good. It's crumbling a little now. This weather is expected to stay for about another 10 minutes as Swan picks up a 3-second time penalty as he's trying to catch up the back of Van Loon. I'm going to leave you with this battle for P8 because my dinner is ready.
Oh, you greedy bastard. Right, Bean looking to gain in on Marco now and looking to get past, maybe into turn 4. He's not deploying any ERS because I don't actually know why he's deploying it now. He's seen the opportunity. He's looking to the outside. Marco just defending that inside line. Bean looking for the switchback. He doesn't quite have the drive into turn 6, I believe that is. Yeah, he's just not got the same pace, Marco, as Bean does. I think he's doing very well to keep Bean behind, but Bean keeps having little small snaps on the exit of turn 7, and he can't keep it close into the penultimate corner, and he runs wide. And he's not running wide at the final turn, but he has hit that sausage curb, which obviously is detrimental. And I know you can't see this, but Vlad and Hooven is side by side. Hooven is getting past Vlad, I believe that is, and Bean getting past Marco, who's had an incident. Does he have damage? He doesn't have damage, but he's nearly hit the wall, destroying one of those billboards, and Bean just slipping past Marco. I don't know what else to commentate because I don't know who he's on.
I have returned. We are currently viewing Much, who's back up into P4.
Yeah, and I was just commentating. Hooven has got past Vlad.
That is massive.
Yeah, and Marco had a bit of an incident at turn 1, just going off the track and destroying a few billboards. And Swan on the inside of Van Loon, and Van Loon just doesn't have the same traction.
The only issue being, look at us, Fattenberg and Skowski are both setting fastest laps now on them fresh intermediates. The only real issue, I would say, is look at the gap from Swan to the next car. He has a lot of time that he has to make up. And there's a yellow flag. It's for a slow-moving Alpine. It's Drunky Monkey.
Drunky Monkey.
Running very wide there as well. Really living up to the mantra.
He needs to get off the old whiskey, the old beer.
Hugendorn now coming under a bit of pressure from both Vandenberg and Skowski.
Again, though, Harris, look at his lead. It's almost like he's just on another planet. 10.5 seconds.
Yeah, but them intermediates are gonna be crying. They're at 70% on the rear. He is entering the danger zone.
This is his race to win. I can't see with the way he's driving. I can't see much going wrong.
Harris has damage. Here. Oh, he's missing an end plate.
Is he?
Yeah.
And he has that. Oh my.
Since he overtook, he's been driving with damage this whole time.
Where is Hoovenier's pace? How is he keeping up with the fastest laps? How is he keeping Hoovenier's so far behind? I don't know how he's doing this with no end plate.
Either, but
the track is very, very dry though.
Oh, there's a battle for P5 as Hugendorn gets a bit loose. Battenberg with the inside line.
And Skowski round the outside of Hugendorn.
The opportunistic Skowski strikes again. Does Harris have enough gap for a pit in front of the guys who already pitted?
If he pits now, I'd say he comes out around P4, P5. So I'd say yeah.
Is he waiting for it to dry up? Because the rain's only meant to last 5 more minutes, give or take. And the track definitely
It's not raining anymore.
No, it isn't.
So we may see him coming to the pits this or next lap.
And he has a big enough gap to just change that wing as well. It'll be dangerous.
Oh, I forgot about the wing change. May opt to not change his wing though. Reason being, he may lose too much time.
You are becoming a robot.
In the pit stop. Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me leave and come back. Leave and join back.
Henningsen, currently who has the fastest lap, also picks up another 3 seconds, so he's at 6 seconds worth of time penalties. But has got past Marco Mangano.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Skowski is eyeing a move on Mans Vandenberg.
Vandenberg,
sorry.
You're pissing me off. My name's not even Vandenberg.
Harris is wearing his tyres very low. He's at 75% now.
Again, if I was him, I'd just play it cautious. I'd go for whatever I thought was the best at that moment.
Van Loon is into the pits. What tyres is Van Loon equipping?
He is on the mediums.
Oh! We just watched Much just absolutely demolish a timing board. Or a braking board, even.
Yeah, Harris he's still pulling on Hoovenier's. He's doing a very good job on those tyres.
Oulé is on softs. Oulé is pitted for soft tyres. Van Loon.
That's a yellow flag.
Oulé's absolutely losing it. And Oulé's back! And that's a safety car.
Harris has been blessed.
Has he?
Absolutely blessed. And cursed. Because everybody is going to see this as an opportunity to pit onto the dry tyres, and so's Harris, and he's got enough gap to change his wing.
Oulé though, we caught it while we was watching the Red Bull of Much. Oulé just on the softs couldn't get the tyres fired up and binned it into the wall.
He did absolutely clobber that barrier. His wheel was absolutely ripped off.
And Harris has got a drive through. Oh my god. Harris has bottled it in the most Alex Harris way possible.
I love how earlier I said not much.
You have to shut your mouth.
Now.
You have to shut your mouth, child.
Oh, for God's sake! That is going to be him dropping down the order.
That's it. It's gone. It's gone. A drive-through after a safety car restart. It's game over.
I'm sorry, Harris.
All he had to do was not speed.
Is he the?
Oh, Battenberg has stayed out.
Oh, he's done a me. He's literally done a me.
A couple of drivers choosing to stay out instead. Vandenberg. Harris is. Oh my! He's done that on purpose.
Did he crash? Did he crash?
He's crashed into the wall.
For God's sake!
He got a puncture.
Oh, what?
How did he get a puncture?
He's just come out of the pits.
Someone explain how he got a puncture.
Unless there was debris on the track.
So Harris has gone from 0 to 0 in the space of seconds.
Oh dear.
He got a puncture on the intermediates.
Oh. What? But he came out of the pit. Oh, the damages. Oh. This is a great day for us. I can't tell if I jinx that.
You just had to. You're not allowed to talk from now on, Alex.
Oh, am I just going to be silent for the rest of the race?
You're not allowed to jinx stuff anymore.
I'm sorry, Harris.
Silly.
Look, it's either me jinxing it, or it's either the commentator's curse, or Harris just being a cement head.
So now, Vandenberg's surely in grave danger here, because Huveniers, Rosu, Much, Skowski, Hugendorm, Soybean, Marco Mangano, and Swan all on soft tyres.
They are. Unfortunately, Vandenberg doesn't have Swan in between him and Huveniers to help him out a bit.
I'm not gonna lie, Ule's crash was a bit weird.
I think he. Well, it was at the final corner, wasn't it?
No, it was on the main straight.
What? What, like after turn 1 or?
Between turn 1 and the final corner. On the pit straight.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Was it coming out the final corner?
He was about halfway down the track.
What? Unless he ran wide and came onto the track and just spun.
He was losing the car, fighting it, and then popped into the wall.
Right.
Harris, you could have saved us 1 million by just, you know,
pressing retire in the pits. That would have been a lot better.
He's told me to come. So surely the safety car will be in next lap. Battenberg, the track. Look how dry the track is. You getting PTSD?
I am getting PTSD, yeah.
You had a rear gunner.
I know I did. I lost out by 17 thousandths.
Vandenberg doesn't have a rear gunner.
Flashbacks.
Vandenberg is in grave danger of slipping down the order with this bold strategy call.
He is. He really is. I'm interested to see what happens, though.
Van Loon is not Van Loon, Will. That is
Jacob Henningsen.
Henningsen, because he hasn't got the right number on.
You're a commentator, but you can't pronounce names.
Because his name isn't appearing up for me. It's a bit hard for me to work out who it is.
No, but I mean Fantenberg as well. You say Fattenberg, it's Fantenberg.
That's just me being a bozo. We're going to ride on board, though, with Justin Huveniers for this safety car restart.
Oh, he's gone. Huveniers is stuck with him.
And Huveniers will be deploying that battery. Vandenberg will be wanting to hold this off as long as possible. Huveniers gets a bit of that yellow curve, though.
Oh, that's a yellow flag for Marco Mangano. No! He's had a spin at turn 1.
Marco dropping down the order. Huveniers eyeing up the back.
Contact. Oh. And Hukendorn up the inside of Much! With Henningsen, or Harrington as you say, straight on the inside of turn 4 on Much as well, but
Much loves the outside. We know Much loves the outside of this corner. Harrington is on intermediates as well. He's going to drop down the order.
Henningsen, and Matthews is spun as well!
And Huveniers has got past Vandenberg. Oh, there's a wing! Someone's wing just went flying across screen.
I've no idea
who's that drawn up into P2. A little bit of bumping though with Vandenberg. As Huveniers is flying right now, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. And he has to drop Rosu off by at least 3 seconds.
He does indeed, so it may be Rosu.
And Much up the inside of Vandenberg. Vandenberg dropping down the order on them intermediate tyres. Will Swan up into front set. Will Swan. Will Swan and Beaner battling it out. Swan in P7. Beanie in 8th. Monk now in P8. Where has the drunk man come from?
Probably the bar. But Vandenberg making a bit of contact with Much as he goes around the outside at turn 4. His favourite overtaking place. But we may see Vlad Rosu back to the top step.
Oh, Skowski up the inside through turn 6 and 7. Surely Vandenberg has to let his teammate through here. Surely he plays rear gunner.
But he's going to hold Drunky Monkey up. Will Drunky Monkey make it around the outside? Oh, he's done a peel.
On the limit. Very wide there. And now it'll be Bean. And it's the final lap. What is the gap between Rosu and Huveniers?
1.7.
I don't think Huveniers is going to... Oh, there's yellow flags. It's for a Haas.
It's Kiziel.
Patrick Kiziel has lost his wing. Patrick Kiziel drops all the way down the order. As meanwhile, Hukendorn is all over the back of Rosu, but Hukendorn's got a 3-second time penalty. Much has a 3-second time penalty. Skowski, as it stands, will be P3.
Rasmussen and Vandenberg side by side, a bit of wheel banging. But Rasmussen on those soft tyres, up the inside at turn 4. Vandenberg he's going to go up the order still though, because of everyone's penalties ahead of him. He has none.
He is.
But will McWilliams get past him before the final turn?
Oh, McWilliams gets a bit of a snap there. And now it's contact with... Big contact with Van Loon, the pair of them. Dropping down the order. Your winner is Huveniers, but Rosu takes it with time penalty. Skowski P3, Hukendorn P4, P5 for Much, 6th for Swan, 7th for Monk, 8th for Mans Vandenberg with the time penalties, 9th goes to Soybean, 10th with Rasmussen finishing in the points. Marco Mangano gets the fastest lap but will not score a point for it coming home, P11. Whew.
What a race.
The driver of the day though is Melvin Hukendorn. I am out of breath. Thank you for the subscription. Kosev once again gifting a sub.
They just want more money.
Indeed. Indeed.
I think we're going to have to sacrifice a bit because of Harris's damages.
Wait for me to get paid.
I just want to say, you still owe me a Happy Meal. I still haven't received that.
Quiet, child. Your performances haven't been good enough recently.
What do you mean?
Here we have Vlad Rosu, Season 5 champion, back on the top step. P2 for Justin Hooveners. And P3 for Skalski. But it's the Red Bull driver that takes home the W. And here is your final classifications for the race.
But Williams he's starting beef in chat.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh. As we get ready for the interviews, your race winner once again, Vlad Rosu. P2 for Hooveners, that 3-second time penalty costing him dearly.
Oh god, they've clipped you with the triple meat fiesta. Ah, dear me. When's your Raid Shadow Legends tournament?
I have enough time for the interviews.
By the way, is it actually a Raid Shadow Legends tournament?
No, it's League of Legends.
Dear me, much better.
Be quiet, child.
No. Look, you actually owe Kevin a Happy Meal as well, and you owe me a Happy Meal.
I owe Kevin
still
too.
yet to receive it. Yeah, that's true, actually. Do I get half of one?
What?
Because I missed out on the win by like 17 thousandths.
That's not how it works.
I think that's how it works. I was close to it. I was extremely close to it.
I would like to point out, I called the race winner. T2 Red Bull.
I also
Gigabrain.
Well, I called that Harris was yeah. I sort of said that I jinxed Harris, so that's not that doesn't really work as well.
Let us see if Vlad will arrive for an interview.
Is he not in?
He's not in yet. Give it a couple more minutes. The Ferraris aren't here either.
Ooh.
I predicted the race winner, and I predicted that we wouldn't get a red flag because I have a tournament to attend. Like, Gigabrain.
How many? I could have paid like 1.5 in damages. Did anyone have damage in the sprint?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Anyway, let's go and bring up P3 finisher in Kasper Skalski.
Hello.
Hello. P3 can't be complaining with that result after the very exploratory race and sprint race that you had.
Yes, I think so. a very intense race. Actually, in the main race, I was thinking about not beating at all. But together with my engineer and Jacob, we decided to just bid and maybe get some luck that the weather will stay like this. But yeah, what can I say? Qualifying went pretty good. My last attempt was not so lucky, but I will not talk about it. Don't want any swearing here on the stream. Sprint race. Very chaotic and very lucky because, yeah, on turn one I spun myself when I was trying to avoid the carnage that was happening at the front. But the recovery was, I would say, exceptional. Two very lucky overtakes on people having some incidents, and I finished in P8, but Harris had a 5-second tire penalty, and I think it will be appealed. And the race. From the beginning, I didn't think I had that much pace in myself, but and around lap 7 or 8, maybe even a little further, Akisuna, I just awakened and yeah, I was pretty fast.
And this keeps you right within the title contention for sure.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Yeah, still leading the championship. Let's hope I can bring this home this time.
And during the extremely heavy rain period, how were the intermediates? Because we saw some drivers choosing to go for the full wets.
In the beginning, I would say that Inters were better. The game proposed us that we should start on Inters, and we just went with it. I saw Kishel probably started on wets, but it didn't really work out for him.
The rain picked up about 15 minutes in, but we didn't see too much of an effect on the track. It didn't rain enough. Some guys took a gamble.
Yeah, that was a very unlucky gamble. I knew I could keep it up on the asphalt, on the Inters, and yeah, this weather didn't really change much in my strategy.
And France next week, how do you feel for France?
France, I haven't driven this track in quite some time, but we'll see. Hopefully, it will be a dry race because I'm kind of bored of this rain.
It's been a very wet season for the Tier 2 and Tier 1 guys.
I kind of have the feeling that I make it very wet. But because, yeah, in Tier 1, when I was reserving for my team, it was wet too. I don't know, maybe it's just this kind of luck.
And is there anything else that you would like to say?
Just a quick thank you for my engineer, Jacob. He did a splendid job today.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on your P3.
Thank you. See ya.
I guess the question, does anyone want to come up? That was quick. McWilliams, talk us through your race.
Oh, great summary.
Oh, Alex, sorry. Yeah, no, it's working on it. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. It was really confusing in the feature race, whether like it was wet or inter conditions, because it kind of just felt like both. I didn't really notice much of a performance difference in either of the one I was on.
You're very quiet right now.
Why the hell? I shouldn't be quiet. Sorry.
There you go. There you're back. You're back.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted at all today. I thought, like after Monaco, Nick had some good pace on him. Maybe he was just unprepared for today. I'm not sure, but it's just kind of heartbreaking in it. I'm just sad, especially after that last sector. I was a bit angry. Uh, I'll be asking for a few POVs on something because I couldn't get my recording software to work, for goodness sake.
You didn't save your replay.
No, I didn't because I was too busy storming onto here to give off.
Understandable. We called it on stream.
Oh, well, I could use that for the ticket then.
It was it's you seem to get a big snap through
Yeah.
turn 6. Run it very wide on turn 7. It's very hard. Oh, pardon me, to tell.
And then I'm pretty sure it was Van Loon just goes right into me and just completely takes me out. I was just about to get points for the first time since Bahrain when I was running like last for half that race, and then I'd pull off such a good move on him as well up the inside of I think it was 4 on that lap, the same lap, and then he just kills me a sector later. It's
But other than that, how do you feel for France?
Oh god, don't make this worse. I've never driven France in my life. I don't think it's a good circuit for racing, for driving. I think it's confusing if you use no line because there's about 20 million different track layouts. But hey, I could be wrong. Could be a bit of good banter, but we just have to see. I think maybe after Friday I was just a little bit too upbeat.
And is there anything you'd like else to say before we see if anyone else wants to come up?
I would like to say a massive well done to my former teammate, Mr. Van Roster. I don't see he's here, but I see his teammates here. Fair play to him for winning his first race since he became champion. It's good to see him back.
Well, unfortunate race for you today, Mr. McWilliams. And hopefully next time you're up here, it's on a much better reasoning.
Let us pray. Thank you very much.
Thank you and goodbye.
Ominous.
Okay, both of you put your hands down. I've got time for one before I need to go get ready. So, both hands down. When I say go, whoever puts their hand up first can come up. 3, 2, 1, go. Ule won. Ule.
Well, those reflexes.
That is not the race that you will want to remember.
Yeah, kinda another one.
We caught the crash. You were trying to catch the car and
Yeah, it was impossible. It was like 1 or 2 laps too soon for softs. They just got ready for the track right after the safety car period. So I was little early, but with nothing to lose, with actually Alfa Romeo pulling Ferrari, with not changing my front wing lap 1. So I was racing whole race with broken front wing, and I actually managed to keep pace with some of the pack. I think I gave pretty good headache. First 1 for 2 laps, it was really nice fight. So yeah, there were some pretty neat small moments. As the fastest lap pace, I was actually only half a second slower than Skalski, which was pretty good pace for a broken car. But yeah, we played around. I was surprised when you said about the heavy rain conditions, because actually I didn't feel like there have been any. There was only slight rain, and I started on indoors. The game suggested it, so there was no debate for wet, so I was surprised when I saw people going out on those tires. But yeah, I didn't won the DNF lottery today. I mean, I didn't have any luck, especially in the sprint when Match just drove into my side, and then in the race where Monk, I don't know what he doing. It felt like brake check, but it's barely legal, I think, because I watched the clip, so I don't know.
And how do you feel for France coming up?
I like this track. I think I can pull something off, even if I will be moved down the order. But Yeah, that's the track I feel much better than Austria, because I knew Austria is kinda coin flip for me. It could go both ways, and it went the worst one. But still happy with performance in the rain. Even if it's raining in France, I think I'll be able to pull some good result there.
Well, unfortunate race today, but congratulations on the team's performance, and we look forward to seeing you next week at France.
Yeah, accumulating the damages from Monacan today, I dropped a gift sub, so I think I'm quite even on that one. With regarding the costs.
Yes, very true, very true. Well,
Have a nice one. Have a nice one, both for our viewers and your tournament. Good luck or something.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Sadly, that is all I have time for. I owe you one next time, Much. How about that? I owe you one next time. I'll no matter what, you'll come up next time. It was a very, very thrilling race for yourself. Lots of outside defending through turn 4, which we caught a lot of. But anyway, that has to be it for me now today. It's been me, Martin. I've been joined by
Alex Watts Johnson.
and we'll see you next time.